friends, welcome to Coder Thoughts. As engineers, we solve real world problems with the help of our coding skills. But we don't do this alone. We have a whole team of programmers, managers, and product managers. Now, as a team player, we need to have a lot of other skill sets as well, apart from just being able to code. One of them is to write code in such a way that our team members can understand it too. And as my friend rightly said to me, and I quote him, it is easier to find a solution to a problem using coding than to write a code that the entire team can understand. Now, I do know that it can be really tricky on how can we write a code so that our entire team understand, because they come from different backgrounds. They might be coming from Java background, writing a Python code, or Node.js, or writing Python code, or something else, right? So there are some things which your entire team can do that will help you to collaborate better. One of that is learning the language correctly. So while learning a language, most of us generally just concentrate on learning the syntax as to what will just make the code work. And I agree, there are times when we don't have time and we just want to make the things work. But in the long term, it is really important that we learn the language correctly. So writing a particular program is not just about learning the syntax of the program. You also need to learn a lot of other things that comes along with it. Every programming language is designed to work better with certain design patterns. So you need to understand, okay, what is the variable casing that I should use, what are the design patterns I should use, when should I use a particular design pattern over the other, and how should I structure my entire project. Now this sounds really critical as to, yeah, I mean, my code works, so why should I even care about it? But in the long run, when the project grows, the complexity of the code and the amount of code you write actually increases. And therefore, having a nice structure, especially the way the language is meant to be written, helps a lot. Now, at times, it also helps you to write unit test cases easily. For example, if any one of you have an experience with Golang, you might know that if you don't structure your Golang code in a particular way, you cannot write unit test cases for Golang. It's like you will always miss some or the other things. But if you really study the Golang pattern well, you can easily structure your code in such a way that you can easily write unit test cases. This was really great when our team actually found the best way to write it and we learned it. Now, apart from just unit test cases, also it helps the team coordinate, because now everyone comes to the same page that a particular code will be having a particular pattern, and that is how they would start navigating through the code. Not only this, it will be easier for them to understand. And then when you also concentrate on minute details such as what you name your booleans and how you actually structure them, it becomes quite simple to understand what you actually wanted to do. Now, some people might also say, hey, but if there is really a complex logic, we can just add a lot of comments, because sometimes that is how people can understand code. It is yes and no at the same time. Comments should be used in your code, and they are really useful, but mostly comments should be used when you define a function. For that function, what are the inputs, what are the outputs the person should expect. That is the place where you should put your comments. But in your actual logic, what the logic is doing, why it is doing, it should be self-explanatory. And if you can make that code self-explanatory, you can even explain it to yourself after 6 months when you forget the code and you're trying to modify it. That is something that has happened before, but it is really helpful in that case. So I hope this important skill you guys would learn and will be more successful in your career. Thank you.